What's up, sports bettors? I have so many bets. Some of them I gave out on Twitter, so you can follow me below. If I don't have time to make a YouTube video or I'm trying to go quick, I'll give out some plays here. But first, we can start with Caesars. So they have a soccer parlay insurance. They have an NFL parlay boost, 33%. They have an NBA parlay boost. So they have a ton of different promos. So what I ended up betting, I'll just show you my bets. We can get into it. Is for NBA. Miles Turner under 1.5 blocks, Raptors spread, Giannis over in points, Blazers spread. For the NFL, Thanksgiving parlay, under in the Bills game, Vikings minus 2.5, under 75 half receiving yards for Lamb. And then for this World Cup one, these four picks. I don't even want to bother with reading them, but you can pause the video. So again, like I always say, there's a lot of ways to skin the cat. But all I did, right, when finding these plays is I go here, I select Caesars, I select the sport or the league I'm looking at, and I pick the four sharpest bets. I'm not outsmarting the markets. I know I'm not outsmarting the markets. You're not going to be able to outsmart the markets, right? The reason sports betting is so fun and it's so fascinating is all these bookies have different odds. So you can ruthlessly scan lines on these sports books and hunt for value. So right on Underdog Fantasy, as an example, out of the millions, of odds across sports books, most of these plays aren't profitable. But you don't need every play to be profitable, right? Underdog Fantasy, they charge the vig, they charge the juice. Most of these plays aren't profitable. We're looking for those few rare betting opportunities like Kyrie Irving under 4.5 rebounds where they're slipping up. So OddsJam kind of has a bunch of tools to try to help make this data actionable. I say it all the time, but for like one game, like if we literally just go to one hockey game, the amount of crap you can bet on, all these period markets, all these alternate lines, alternate totals, all these player props. I mean, there's millions of odds. The market's constantly moving, sharp action's coming in, weather's changing in the NFL, right? Like, you're not going to be able to just look manually and find good bets. So OddsJam compiles all this data and tries to make it actionable. So on Underdog Fantasy, the incredible bet, there's a couple incredible plays I have, but is Kyrie Irving under 4.5 rebounds, right? Why do we like it? Well, take a look at the data. Every sports book, for the most part, except for Betway, is heavily juicing this to like minus 160, minus 170, minus 175, minus 159. So there's basically no disagreement in the market. I mean, sure, Betway, they don't have the under juiced as much, but you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is the same as Pinnacle, right? That's the same column as Pinnacle. These are the same. So you have like 12 data points, and they're all telling you the same thing. Hey, this under should be heavily juiced, right? The under is the favored outcome. Sportsbooks imply win probabilities through their odds, So you're always looking for value, and this is a play with value. On Underdog Fantasy, as we've explained tons of times, you're getting the implied odds of minus 122 for a 3-pick or a 5-pick entry. So you'll notice almost all the plays I go with, and we have tons of videos talking about this strategy, they're all 3-pick and 5-pick entries, right? And I ride with you guys on all these plays through the big wins, through the losses. I know the math works. I'm a believer in math. And here, like, this is an arbitrage bet, right? Like, by definition, either DraftKings is wrong or Underdog Fantasy is wrong. And looking at the data in the market, it's very clear we have very high confidence that this Kyrie Irving play is a slam. So I slammed it, right? And I'll show you guys here in a bit. I have a ton of plays, so many plays. I'll also be writing more on the OddsJam blog, so feel free to check that out. Just on my author page, I'll include that in the description as well as my Twitter. Again, just trying to get out valuable sports betting content, valuable plays that help people win, have an edge, as quickly as possible. And in as many methods as possible, because I know not everyone wants to watch YouTube videos all day long. So next I have Clayton Keller, over half of a point. Same strategy, different sport. All the sports books, right? Pretty surprising. I didn't know players were that likely to have a point in hockey, really, but hey, I don't care. I've never heard of this guy. I follow the data. I follow the numbers. Very clearly, this is a good play. We're getting minus 122. There's no disagreement in the market. Every sportsbook pricing this as a 1.5 roughly to 1 favorite, which is like, 60% to occur, enough to beat the vig, the juice on Underdog and give us an edge. It's a play with an edge, right? Lower profit margin than this Kyrie play, sure, but still. So then let's switch over, because I found plays in a bunch of ways, and I say this all the time, but there's not like one way to slice the data. The advantage Underdog Fantasy, Prize Picks, Sportsbooks, the only advantage they have on you is the vig, the juice, the spread they charge. That is their business model. They are car dealers. They think a car is worth $12,000, so they buy it for $10,000, they sell it for $14,000. It's the same thing on sportsbooks. They add in a spread, it's called the vig, it's called the juice. You remove the vig, you remove the juice, and that's your true line, right? So you can beat them. That's my entire point. And what you'll notice is I found this huge line discrepancy. Only 2 sportsbooks have posted odds, but you got Prize Picks and Underdog Fantasy. Prize Picks' line is at 85 half receiving yards. Underdog Fantasy is at 97 half. So pretty big difference, right? 12-yard gap. So I took the under, and this is found using the screen, right? So I say this all the time, but tons of ways to find bets with an edge. Tons of ways to find sharp plays. Tons of strategies to make money sports betting. I believe positive EV bet. I know positive EV betting is the most profitable, so that's what I focus on. But you could middle this, right? You could take Tannehill over 187.5 passing yards on Underdog. You could hit the under 215.5 on Prize Picks, and you have a middle. Hopefully, Tannehill has 200 passing yards. You win your over on Underdog, you win your under on Prize Picks, right? That's called middle betting. So, a lot of times people think, oh, I'm on the over tonight. It's like you're on the over for Tannehill, but at what line? Because here you can see if Tannehill had over 200, if he had 200 passing yards, we win our over on Underdog, we win our under on Prize Picks. So here, obviously the discrepancies aren't as big, so not as interesting. But that's why we're on this Tannehill play. And same with rushing, right? You can go to rushing yards. But anyways, another way you can find sharp plays, so we can continue down the EV page. We have this Keller prop, Jason Robertson over 3.5 shots on goal, Ingram over 1.5 threes, Kirk Cousins under 3.5 rushing yards. The math just works. So tons of plays varying in profit margin, varying in betting limits. A lot of people will ask me yo, why did you bet this, not this? A lot of times there's different betting limits. A lot of times it's just whatever, So this play looks good. So this is called the Arbitrage Tool. So arbitrage means you can bet on both sides and earn a risk-free profit, right? So this isn't an arbitrage video tutorial, so I'm not going to dwell on it. But essentially, when you have arbitrage bets, you can bet the over on one sportsbook, the under on another sportsbook, and make a risk-free profit. So I use it, and it may not seem like a big deal, but earning, this is a 2% ARB for today. 2% risk-free return a day means if you did it every day with $1,000, you'd have 60% risk-free profit. You'd be up $600 on the month risk-free, and that's pretty easy. So, but it also points out line discrepancies. Whenever arbitrage exists, by definition, one bet has to be profitable. So here, what I noticed is, hey, Rozier, there's a big line discrepancy. And if you click into the odds, because FanDuel offers these alternate lines, as they're called, what you end up noticing, you can bet on, by alternate lines, I mean you can bet on Rozier over 15.5 points, 16, 18, whatever, right? Alternates. They just want to give you more stuff to bet on. But what I ended up noticing is, dang, every sports book has Rozier's point total at over under 19.5. Underdog Fantasy, casually, has it at 21.5. 2 points off from the market. Getting a ton of value, hit that under, right? Prize Picks has the line at 19.5, etc. All over this under. All over it you want to be. So I hit it, and you can see right here, so many play. Oh my gosh, let's go. So we have this, Rozier, Irving, Adams, under. This one is previous. That's previous. That's previous. That's previous. That's previous. That's previous. Here we go. Cousins rushing yards, $1,000. $1,000 betting limits on the NFL. All right. Rozier and Irving are in every one because those were the best two. Keller. Robertson. Tannehill. Ingram. All right, 750. I guess I bet that twice. So, whatever. You get the point. Sharp plays, tons of value, incredible plays. Let's make money.